Need the coffee. So I think it's cafecito time.
Cafecito time.
Oh, cafecito time.
Cafecito time. You like that new intro? Hope you guys enjoy that. Welcome to the official Miami versus Ohio State preview show. Welcome to Cafecito and Canes. Juan, who's always here in the chat early, thank you for the support. John, are you ready to start the new year with a bang? I'll be honest, I will have a hard time processing emotions, win or lose. If we win, full circle journey from 03, loss is still progress. Like I've been saying, man, ever since the A&M win, I'm good. I'm pretty satisfied as far as the results of the season and all that. But man, if they could beat Ohio State, that's another level of satisfaction I haven't felt in 20 plus years that I will definitely welcome. And you know what? Even though I think our roster is going to continue to add talent and build and build and build, I think right now you have some pieces that you got to take advantage of windows like this. You got possibly two first rounders on the D line. You got a first rounder on the O line. Possibly, you know what? If Markel Bell stays another year, he could be a first rounder next year. So that's multiple first rounders in your trenches and a veteran like Carson Beck under center. You know, you got to take advantage of those opportunities. Even though I think Miami has certainly has met and maybe even surpassed my expectations at the beginning of the year, because I predicted 10 wins and maybe a playoff appearance. I said, playoff appearance, I'm good. Playoff appearance and win a playoff game against an SEC team on the road, that surpassed my preseason expectations a little bit. So again, I'm good, but with the pieces we have, we can keep the party going. Good evening, John. Finally able to catch you live. Wife is letting me leave the hospital tomorrow night for the game. Hey, that's great, man. Well, hopefully the Canes can reward you with a victory. Hope Mario gets revenge after yesterday's stunt with DJ Jacobs. Yeah, I'm not going to get too much into that. Obviously, DJ Jacobs, one of the top recruits, if not the top recruit in America for 2027. All the crystal ball predictions and all the on-3 predictions were saying, maybe not all of them, but I know a couple predictions dropped DJ Jacobs to Miami, and he swerved us and went Ohio State. I saw the video. Family was happy. He was happy. I'm guessing that was his dad next to him. He didn't look too happy. I don't know if I should read into that, anything. But anyway, he chose Ohio State. Listen, Mark Fletcher at one point chose Ohio State and then flipped to Miami. Justin Scott chose Ohio State and flipped to Miami. And those are two major pieces on the current team. So Jordan Lyle, I think, was another one that initially chose Ohio State or was leading Ohio State. No, he was committed to Ohio State and then flipped to Miami. So recruiting for me, especially with the season we've had this year, recruiting for me has become wake me in December. Wake me up right before signing day and we see what happens. So, yeah, he's not in the boat just yet. It might be an uphill battle to flip him, but you can still flip him, especially if we're sending possibly our two starting DNs in the first round. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not too concerned. I know this class is the class for 2027. I think is going to be stellar, especially locally. Go Canes, John. Thank you, John. Great season, all season with you, always, man. Thank you, appreciate that, Chris. I'm watching Canes hoops right now. Miami basketball team got a bright future. Absolutely. What is the? You know what? Let me check that really quick. Google Canes hoops. How are they doing right now? It is. Oh, they're down 10 at the half. Oh, nice season so far though. 11-2 against the Pitt Panthers. That's their ACC opener, if I'm not mistaken. So good luck to those boys. I'll probably catch the end of that game after this. I'm worried about the Hurricanes offense moving the football right now against Ohio State because they got a good defense. It's hard to move the football. The football defense, I think we can compete with anybody. I absolutely think our defense can compete with anybody. I agree with you. It's an elite unit. I think we finished 6th or 7th or 8th, something like that, in scoring defense nationally, allowing 14 point something points a game. Ohio State's allowing like 8.5 points a game. So as elite as we've been, they've been a little bit better statistically. If you want to get into the weeds and see who we've played versus who they've played and metrics like that, at the end of the day, two elite defenses going head to head. Off their passing offense, I think it has an edge over our passing offense. I think that's for sure. Not that our passing offense is bad, but they've got three receivers that are going to be very hard to stop. One in particular, who we all know. And that's where I think Miami's going to have to avoid going skill for skill on the outside with them. You don't want to do that. You don't want to get into a shootout. I would avoid that at all costs. This is a game where Miami's going to have to drag Ohio State to the middle of that ring and say, no, we're settling it right here. We're going to go body blow, uppercut. It's going to be haymakers. It's going to be a heavyweight fight, a brutal, just trenches battle. And if you do that, if you could drag them into a battle like that, I think the advantage goes to Miami. Dion, let's go. Welcome to the U says OSU is doubting the offense as well. That's why they will be surprised, especially in the run game. I think they're taking us lightly. I really do, because A&M took us lightly and they looked very surprised after the first couple possessions. I'm tired of everyone piling on Carson Beck. He's better than what people think. 5 years beats out a redshirt freshman any day. Yeah, experience-wise, but Julian Sain's really good. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. He's a hell of a quarterback. Very mature, very poised. However, you can rattle him. That's where I think our edge rushers can have a decided effect on this game. If Julian Sain has all day to throw, yeah, we're going to get shredded. But I could argue the same thing on our side. If Carson Beck has time to throw, I don't think we're going to shred them for 38 points or anything like that, but we're going to be able to score. We're going to be able to move the football. This is more of a heavyweight fight than people think. I expect Carson Beck to have a major role in the Canes' victory. The media narrative on Beck and offense has been insufferable. Well put. I 100% agree. I feel like his mistakes are magnified more than the average quarterback for sure. But that's the thing when you come to play in Miami. Yeah. Yep. I agree, Josh. So let's talk about this. So I do agree with what a lot of the other podcasters are saying. You got to make this a physical battle in the trenches. It's got to be run the football, control the clock, kind of play a style of offense that you've been playing early in the season. The one that we didn't want anymore. We wanted style points. We wanted to play fast. We wanted to play loose. That style I definitely agree with if you are playing a less talented opponent. This is not a less talented opponent. You want to limit their possessions. That is one thing I know Mario Cristobal can do in this offensive line. Mario always has us ready for big games. That's another thing that has me feeling pretty good. Am I expecting a victory? I don't know if I'm expecting one, but I definitely think we have a pretty good shot if we come to play. Right now, ESPN, the prediction machine where it gives you the percentages, I think it has us like at 29.5%, 30% to win. So we're definitely the underdogs, but it's not like they got us at 4% or anything like that. I do believe there are some key matchups, yes, in the trenches that I'll get to now. Bain and Mesidor last week or a week and a half ago went up against probably two of the best tackles they went up against all season, talent-wise, especially that kid. I can't think of his name right now. The one who he talked a little bit before the game and, specifically about number 4, and you don't do that. Why don't you do that? Well, number 4 went out there and got 3 sacks, a few TFLs, a blocked field goal, dominated the game. Mezzi was pretty good too. I think these tackles that we're about to play, Trey Zoom, thank you. The 2 tackles we're about to play, I don't know if they're as talented as the A&M tackles we just played. So that matchup could favor us pretty well. Or maybe or they might show up and play a little better than those guys did a week and a half ago. We're playing a quality O-line, but A&M's O-line might be slightly better than what we're about to play, just on talent alone. Might they show up and, overachieve a bit? We'll see. But I think that's a matchup that we potentially can exploit. If we can get some pressure with our front four, then I think our defense is in pretty good shape, and I think we're going to get some stops. Thankfully, Indiana showed the blueprint a little bit, and I think we're going to follow suit. And I think Heatherman, he'll fill you out early, but I think he's going to get aggressive pretty quick. I don't think he's going to wait too much longer. Against A&M, it was a windy day. It was a little different. He could afford to drop more guys back and be more patient. Let the errant throws come to them. It's not going to be like that here. Ohio State O-line versus our D-line will be battle. Ohio State pass rush is no joke. Yeah. In particular, Caden McDonald, that is one matchup that I'll be watching. Him on the interior against Brockermeyer, against Anes Cooper. Those interior guys are going to have to come ready to play. And it's not, luckily they are very battle tested, and it's not anything they haven't seen before. So I think they'll be ready. Our O-line is as healthy as it's been in a while, so that's good. But tomorrow night could be a lot of Mario Ball. Good evening, John. Just wanted to ask, are we playing on real grass? I think it's that new turf that they use on a lot of stadiums that's almost like grass. I doubt they use you know what? Why don't we look? What type of grass do they use in Cowboy Stadium? Let me see. Cowboy Stadium. Let's see. No, go away. Oh, freaking pop-ups. Sorry, guys. 1 second. AT&T Stadium uses matrix turf. Is it high quality artificial turf? Okay. Yeah, it's artificial turf, but nowadays artificial turf is very much like real grass. It's not like the old turf back in the day that you literally had to wear sneakers. You couldn't wear cleats. It's nothing like that. It's basically grass. Don't have to worry about the cold. It's indoors. Don't have to worry about the wind. It's indoors. Don't have to worry about the weather really at all. So everybody's going to have the same traction. Nothing's really going to affect that. So we're good. It'll be 25 days since they last played football. Oh, I'm aware. Plus Ryan Day's calling plays for the first time in 2 years. We need to take advantage of the potential rustiness. Absolutely. I agree. We do need to jump on them. They're going to have to take a few gambles, take some shots downfield. And they got to connect if they're there. Like JoJo gets wide open by 3 steps. Carson's got to hit that throw. I know the wind affected that one. Yes, granted, fine, but no wind this time. If he breaks open like that again, you got to hit him for that play. Now, also, if there are any pass interference calls, defensive holding. Well, not defensive holding because that's 5 yards, but a pass interference call, I count that as connecting on a big play. In a game like this, they all count. So it's definitely going to take, I think, it's going to take Ohio State a minute to get their bearings again, because you can simulate it as much as you want in practice. It's not the real thing. We just played 8 days ago or 9 days ago, or 10 days ago, something like that, week and a half. So we played a lot more recently. We played in an emotional, physical battle. And, so the timing, I think, will be there. And also, Carson's going to be throwing into not a 30-mile-an-hour wind. So he's going to be like, oh, this is much better. And then Carter Davis is going to be kicking into, again, no wind. So it's almost like taking the donut off the bat when you're, taking your on-deck swings in baseball. It's going to feel nice for them. Miami kicker, I need him to make his kick, so I don't want him missing. Yeah, no, just like I was saying, I think Carter Davis is going to be just fine. That was mostly weather-related. I don't think he'll be too rattled mentally. I think Ryan Day will test their secondary early and often. I agree, and that's where they're a big play offense, so that's where a lot of it's going to come from, especially in a game like this where we're not just going to hand them 5 to 7 rushing yards a carry. We're going to be stingy, and we're going to plug up those holes and fill those gaps. They're going to have to hit some downfield passes. That's where our D-line matchup is going to be key. They will definitely test our corners because Damari Brown is out. That's another key matchup that I was hoping to see, because the last time those two faced off against each other, Jeremiah Smith and Damari Brown, it was in high school. Damari Brown got the better of him. He's out, Damari. So, and we probably won't see him for the rest of the playoffs, assuming we continue. So I need Xavier Lucas, OJ Frederic, Keontae Scott, all those guys to really hold their own. The safeties to shade over and help. Bryce Fitzgerald, Poyser, and Thomas. They got to do their job. They got to be locked in. But more than that, our front four's got to put some pressure, because if our front four puts pressure, they don't have to be running around there for 4 to 5 seconds covering these receivers, because they're not going to be able to. Those guys are too good. Get to the quarterback, get some pressure on him, force him into that hot read, and just shut it down from there. The rest from this game are from what conference? I believe the Big 12. I think playoff games, it has to be a neutral referee crew. Go Canes. It is true that the same refs who officiated the call it. No, I don't think so. From most people have told me that it's a Big 12 crew. I heard that rumor too, but I don't think. I'd be shocked, because that's an ACC crew. That wouldn't make any sense. My receivers outside of Malachi Tony need to step up. JoJo. Yeah, especially JoJo. If we all of a sudden get a big JoJo game, oh boy, that could get fun, because JoJo, that's Jeremiah's boy. You know, JoJo's going to be fired up for this game. Some people on Twitter were even talking about, hey, they should put, since Damari's not playing, they should put JoJo out at corner on Jeremiah Smith. No, don't do that. Yes, I realize JoJo played some corner in high school, and he was really, really, really good, and probably could have been a blue chip corner as well at the college level, but he hasn't done it in a long time. So for those seriously thinking that we should do that, no. I think most people were kind of joking, but I saw a lot of that on social media. No. Let JoJo do his thing on offense. SEC, if show watched earlier, is the referee crew. SEC. Okay, well, SEC still neutral, so that's fine. As long as it's not ACC. Please, no. ACC, as long as it's not ACC or Big Ten, I'm fine. Could Elijah Lofton be huge? Yes. I mean, he's gotten a little bit healthier. He's gotten as close to 100% as he's been this season. So I don't think he's not going to be 100% right, like what I think he can be, until next year, I think. But I think Elijah, he just makes a couple of catches and makes some key blocks. I think that's he'll make a big impact, specifically in the blocking game. His blocking has gotten better, and that's been very key for our running game. You need the tight ends on the edge hitting their blocks, or if they're pulling across the field on those wham blocks, they got to hit those. Those are key in our running scheme, and he's done a better job of hitting those. Xavier Lucas, low-key surprisingly good for Miami. I agree. O'Connor matches up. Good ball skills, good length. Ohio State has played secondary skill since Notre Dame. I mean, you could be right. We have a very, very talented secondary, even with Damari Brown out. We have a very talented secondary. It has to be neutral, yes. Google is saying the ACC is officiating. If it's Google AI, don't fully trust that, because I feel like half the time, especially for sports-related things, half the time it's wrong. So don't totally trust that. Disregard that was last year. Yeah, see, Google AI will straight up give you the wrong thing sometimes, or it'll give you something from last year. I've noticed that too. So yeah, don't trust the first thing that pops up. I think Miami, Virginia Tech next few years. This is going to be a banger for the next few years. Let's see if there's anything else here. To the point you just made about PI calls, I think the key will be for Miami on defense too. Miami should take PI calls all day if it means no long touchdown for Ohio State. Make them earn it in the red zone. That's a good point, Timothy. I agree. If Jeremiah or Carnell Tate gets loose, and all you gotta do is trip them up, and you turn a touchdown, a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown, into just a 25-yard play. Yeah, I agree. I'd take those. You still don't want that happening either, but it's better than a touchdown. Now, we need to hear from your Flo after the game. Will you be coming or need to wait till Sunday? Actually, I'm glad you asked that, Edwin. I was going to say it at the end of the show, but I'll say it now. I will do a post game. I'm going to do it with Ben, actually. Hopefully celebrating, but I don't think we've decided which channel we're officially doing on, but we'll probably stream it on both. So yeah, I'll be on with him after the game to discuss what happened. I think JJ gets his somewhat. Just got to keep him in the end, keep him out of the end zone, minimize him in key moments. The biggest matchup is our O-line and their D-line. Yes. Yeah, our O-line, their D-line, our D-line, their O-line. It's all just the trenches across the board. Huge. I think our D tackles because they already know who our ends are. You can't take them lightly. But if Ahmad Moten is disruptive, if Justin Scott's getting in the backfield, then they can be in some trouble. Because those are the guys, they know, okay, the superstars are on the edge. You got to shut down the guys in the middle and at least give Sayin a pocket for a couple seconds. But if those D tackles are causing disruption, ooh, boy, that could be trouble for them. Same on our side. If Caden McDonald and these guys, those elite linebackers they have, they're blitzing or they're causing havoc up the middle, could be trouble for us too. Blunt and Lightfoot have low-key been unblockable. Film don't lie. Both have been very, very good. I've been pleasantly surprised with both guys. Not so much with Blunt. I knew Blunt can do that. He's been solid. I can't wait to see what he's got next year as a junior. But Lightfoot, yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised with what he's done. Let's see, autism awareness, push them damn guards back into his lap. Yes, absolutely. The tight end Max Clare scares me too. He's a very good tight end. Yes, they got the advantage at the skill positions. I can't deny that. But you can't make it a skill position kind of game. You just got to avoid that at all cost. Try to get an early lead on them because, like we've been saying, I think it's going to take them a bit to shake off the rust. Ryan Day, while he is, I think, a brilliant offensive mind, the man hasn't called plays in a couple of years. So it's hard to just step right back into that role in a game of this magnitude. The game evolves so much, and I do believe that play callers get into a rhythm just like players get into a rhythm physically. I think, into the flow of the game and everything. I think play callers, it's no different. I think they can get into a rhythm too. He hasn't felt, it's kind of a play calling is an art. You got to get a feel for it, and he hasn't had that in 2 seasons. So all that to say, I think it could take him a minute to get going. Caden Curry is also dangerous. He's got 11 sacks. Oh, I know. Yeah, I think he's leading their team in sacks. That our O-line has to come to play just like theirs does. It's a really interesting matchup. In the trenches, at the line of scrimmage, I give us a slight advantage. I don't think it's not a huge advantage, but I give us a slight one. John, if Ohio State's blitzing, that means they're not getting home with 4. It means a big play can happen as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. Here's the key. Generate pressure, keep Carson Beck clean, don't throw the ball over. That's the keys for 99% of football games. But this is going to be one of those classic, just football 101. Protect your QB, keep his jersey clean, run the football, stop the run, don't turn the ball over. You do that, you're going to win. So many people disrespecting us. Go Canes, do it at 305 style. I know there's going to be a lot of fans out there on Miami's side. I know a lot of people are making the trip. It's going to be nice to see half that stadium full of orange and green. Markel Bell's imposing has been good for us. Yep, I agree. But anyways, before I go, please give me your score predictions in the chat right now. Just drop them in. While you do that, I'm going to give you my score prediction. I think this will be a low-scoring game, just like the Indiana-Ohio State game. It has that feel to me. I think we get a touchdown and a handful of field goals, or maybe a couple of touchdowns, a safety at a field goal. And yes, I think a safety can happen in a game like this, where a big special teams play can decide it. And then Ohio State, I could see them moving the ball on us, but us shutting the door and just locking them down in the red zone, because I think our red zone defense has been excellent this year. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm just kind of trusting my eyes on that one. I just from what I recall watching this season, I don't remember a lot of teams scoring in the red zone on us. I think the final score will be 19-16. Kind of a little callback there to Wide Right 2 in 1992. It's fresh in my mind because I watched that game the other day. So I think it's going to be 19-16. I think it's going to be 16 all. We're driving. Carter Davis, go-ahead field goal. Very similar to the Notre Dame game. We kick the ball back to them. They're going to have less than a minute to go, no timeouts. Our defense, one final time, gets the stop. Maybe Ruben Bain gets that sack to just ice it. They run out of time, and that's it. I could see that happening. I really can. This isn't just like in the past where, we're kind of like wishing and convincing ourselves that we can win the game, but really deep down we're like, oh, we're cooked. I really don't think that's the case here. I think Miami's got a really solid shot here. They come to play. They play with physicality. We punch them in the mouth early, and we make them feel us. And they have that 25-day layoff. It could be a problem for them, 100%. Curry going to be going against Francis. The only twitchy pass rusher OSU has is Reeves. Miami's better slight edge. O-line versus D-line. Keep an eye on Keelan Mary and Malachi Tony busting one. Corey, how do we know how our defense locked and loaded again? I hope so. We got a damn good shot, obviously, though. Yes, we do. Let me get to your predictions. 21-20 Canes. Edwin, same thing. Oh, no, 21-10 Canes. Damn. Okay, you got us winning kind of convincingly there. Okay. I like it. I like the energy. 24-17 Miami. All right. 15-14 Miami. Oh, my God. That would be – Josh, that to me sounds like absolute cinema. If we win 15-14, that's just a defensive bloodbath. I love games like that. 21-14 Miami, 17-14. I like that. 17-14. I could definitely see that. 21-16. I could definitely see that too. 21-14 Canes. Canes win going to the mid. Other playoff games are pretty good. Who you got in the other games? I'll tell you really quick. I think Texas Tech beats Oregon. I think Oregon's just kind of assuming they're going to win that game. I think they're taking them a little lightly. I picked Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. That is who's playing. Yeah, let me, just to be safe. Ooh, Miami tied the game. Very nice. Let's see. Bowl games. Who we got coming up? December. Where you at? Okay, we got our game on the 31st. Yeah, Oregon, Texas Tech. That's what I thought. That's here in Miami at Hard Rock. I got Texas Tech winning now. I think they're going to surprise some people. That roster is really good, and that defense is excellent. I think Indiana takes care of Alabama, and I got Georgia beating Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is a little nicked up. They don't have Lane Kiffin anymore. At some point, that's going to affect them. Georgia has been sitting and resting, and while they're going to be a little rustier, maybe they got off to a slow start as well, but I think they overcome that. They win a relatively close one. It's going to be an SEC, typical SEC battle, but I think Georgia edges them out. Indiana beats Alabama. I already said that. So the teams left, if we beat Ohio State, we would go on to face Georgia, Texas Tech against Indiana, which would be a barn burner. That would be a great game. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Can you imagine Miami and Indiana in the national championship at home? Fernando Mendoza just won the Heisman, Columbus kid, lifelong Hurricane fan, grew up here, going against his dream team for the championship at home. I mean, you can't make that up. But anyways, guys, I didn't want to be on too long. Just wanted to give you my quick, straight to the point thoughts on the game and prediction. But while you're in here, the 67 of you in the chat, 64 of you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Keep throwing your predictions into the comment section. Miami and Oregon would also be super exciting. I agree. Mario against his former team, that works too. But anyway, yeah, I will be on after the game, hopefully in a celebratory mood, and we will go from there. But until then, please, yes, guys, Happy New Year, and enjoy the game. Have a good night, everybody. Go Canes. Beat Ohio State.